Monday morning. Can you believe it? It's July the 31st. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, and hopefully your day's starting off on a nice note. It is a lovely, lovely start to the day outside. As a matter of fact, take a live look from our Tower Cam network. This is looking over to the Vehicle Assembly Building, Kennedy Space Center. Oh yeah, had a couple of launches there over the last couple of days' time. It has been beautiful. And of course, as all the workers are heading out there, you know it's going to be a stormy afternoon over at the Cape and across the rest of town. Here's a look at our first warning Doppler radar. Happy to say, nothing to track at the moment over top of us. Some interference down south and a little bit of rain out over the Gulf, but that's all we got. So a lovely start. In terms of temperatures, it's 77 in Orlando, 78 degrees in Leesburg, 74 in the Villages, and 73 in Palm Coast. Temperatures this morning, even if it's just a little bit, they are a little bit more comfortable than they were yesterday. 100%. 100% agreed with that. Now, as far as the forecast goes today, we are climbing and we are getting stormy. It's a high of about 93 degrees and a 60 or so percent coverage of showers and thunder showers. And like yesterday, some of those storms can and will get on the strong side. 11 o'clock, 86. It's 91 degrees by 1 o'clock and 93, our high temperature by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Then we get those thunderstorms going. 5 p.m., 60% coverage of storms. All right? So, with that said, I will say good morning to you. Walt, Melissa, good morning. Kate Cannon, good morning, good morning. Jan, good morning to you. Laura says, I got a warning for severe weather this morning. I didn't send a warning. I mean, maybe somebody else did. But I did not. Oh, it'd help if I open this. Fran Hayes, good morning to you. Carla, good morning, good morning. William says, yay, love the rain, off at 2 p.m. Hey, if that's what it is, that's what it is. We'll be tracking. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cindy, seems like all the rain went around me yesterday. It's funny, I got a little bit of weather at the house around dinner time, and then I fell asleep early. Woke up, heard it storming outside, and I was like, all right, welcome to the club. So, yeah, got a little bit of stormy weather even at my house. And that's kind of the same idea today. High temperatures look like this today, still running above average. 93 the average high temperature, 93 the high temperature in Orlando. 90, can I try that again? I need coffee. Good God, it's been a month or a week. 92 is the average high temperature. 93 is the forecast high temperature in Orlando. 93 in Leesburg. 92 degrees today. In the Villages, 95 degrees in Sanford. 95 degrees in DeLand. That's gross. Nobody wants that. Janice says, typical summer. Yeah, it's been a typical summer. It's been a hotter than typical summer. Now, for today, because of the clouds, because of the thunderstorms, it's going to be an okay day. I would say if you're going to want to get into the swimming pool, get it taken care of a little early for obvious reasons. Why? Because we have not only a pretty high coverage of stormy weather today, but also kind of potent storms in the forecast. Now, here's a look at today's rain chances. Doesn't take a meteorologist to say that's a lot of area with a high chance of rain, right? Like, yeah, it's going to be an active day once again. Yeah. Jan says, yes, noticeable difference in humidity when stepped outside this morning. Yeah, it's true. Beth says we haven't had rain in days. We'll get some for you, hopefully. Catherine says, 98 in Kissimmee yesterday, hottest in my 39 plus years. Those are not elements I like. Laura says it was from my radar. If it's not from Wesh, I shouldn't trust it. Well, I mean, the only thing I could think of is if my radar was talking about the threats for severe weather today, they were probably putting out a push alert for this. Today, we are under a level 1 out of 5 risk for isolated strong to severe storms. Parts of our area got placed under that later yesterday. So it's again a thing. Yeah, could get some feistier stuff firing up today. But that's okay. Now, in addition to that, I think it's kind of interesting. In addition to that, we're also watching the threat for flooding. So this is looking at both elements. So you've got your severe threat basically from I-75 off to the east. Flooding threat issued by a completely different organization within the kind of National Weather Service world. This is the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. This on the right, the flooding risk, that's the Weather Prediction Center, which I don't even know. Oh my gosh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Whew. Where is the WPC? It's an NSEP. Is it Silver Spring, Maryland? I'm looking. College Park, Maryland. All right, so there you go. So Norman, Oklahoma on the left, College Park, Maryland on the right. There you go. So yeah, so, the reality is that it's going to be, again, like yesterday, an active weather day. So let's do this. Let's check in on Futurecast and just get an idea of where we are, and then we can enter it up a little bit. William says, come in at 3:30 a.m. Not today. Not today. All right, so there's Futurecast, 11, 12 o'clock, starting to see some of those showers kind of popping up. But look at that coverage by 3 o'clock. Let's back that up. 1, 2, 3. Widespread thunderstorms. Very heavy rainfall. Milton says, rain is better than heat. The thing to remember, and this is the truth, is that rain is built, it's designed to cool our temperatures down. Otherwise, Florida would be out of control. And I always tell everybody that the best way to learn the water cycle is to live in Central Florida, or at least to be around Central Florida, because every day we get the heat, the evaporation, the lift, the cold fronts, it's all that cyclical setup. And the best way to explain it, as I reset Futurecast, the best way to explain the water cycle in the most clear terms, 11 o'clock, it's quiet. 12 o'clock, starting to see some rain. But by about 2:30, 3 o'clock, it's widespread thunderstorms. And that is the water cycle at work in the best way, shape, and form. Terry says we had storms in the afternoon and evening in Denellen. Yeah, it was stormy. And look at that. I mean, 4 o'clock, everything coagulates, and today is starting to shift off to the east. Yesterday it was kind of wanting to shift more west, but look at that. By 5 p.m., it's our East Coast areas that are getting just stormed on like crazy. 6 o'clock starting to work off the shoreline. And by 7 o'clock this evening, things should start to clear out little bit by little bit. So it looks to me for now like, at least in terms of the timing, it's an earlier start, an earlier finish to all of those thunderstorms today versus yesterday. All right? Jan says it was completely dry here in Eau Gallie yesterday, but we needed to dry out. You're right. You are in a rain surplus, but it doesn't look like that dry will continue. It looks like you're going to get stormed on today over there in Eau Gallie, right? Yeah. Beth says haven't seen rain at all. Feast or famine, right? Crazy lightning in Oviedo last night. Oh, it was for sure. Cindy says, hope the coffee is super strong this morning. It's espresso. Can I tell you, you know what? I just need coffee every day. I bumped my head this morning waking up, and I'm just like, We all have days like that, right? Beverly says, we got a couple of showers yesterday. Need more. Most of it's going north of me. Yeah, we all need the rain for sure. All right, I'm way back in comments. I need to scroll through. Taylor says, I'm a bit bummed. We could have had my daughter's beach party yesterday because we didn't end up seeing rain until 5. Party was at 2. I'm sorry. Although, Taylor, I did say, it was supposed to start at 2 there. I'm sorry. It happens. Did you mute us, or are you that quiet of a sneezer? Oh, I muted you. Oh yeah. No, I muted you. Yeah. You don't need to hear it. I feel like if I tried to be quiet, it would just blow out my nose. All right, I'm way behind in the comments, and I apologize. All right, trying to play catch up here. Let's see here. Hi, Annie. Good to see you. Good morning. Laura, I'm about to make an espresso. I'm not ready to Monday yet. Look. I make my espressos 7 days a week. So need it. Look into the camera and shine a light into your pupils. You good? I think so. I just hit my head this morning, that's all. Taylor says, hey, I get weather is guidance, not gospel. I'm not mad at you. I know. It never makes it feel better, though. That's all. Never makes it feel better. Lionel says, going to Volcano Bay. Maybe I need to get there early to get in some water time before the storms come. 100%. I would say today's focus is going to be a little bit earlier in those storms. So if you're heading over to Volcano Bay, it's looking like by 3 o'clock, showers, storms absolutely around. Yeah. And Marsh says, I brew espresso too. Giddy up. Ashley, I've moved back, Eric. Happy to have you back in my mornings. Welcome back, Ashley. I'm glad to see you here. Thank you for not using a ring light. I mean, I have one in the house, but you can kind of see it deflected in the thing. I try to cover it with my big melon, but yeah, those ring lights. Ugh. So whatever you're doing today, I would just suggest trying to get it taken care of as early as you can. Now, interesting little weather perspective happening here. So we've got this tropical moisture, this storm system north of us, still feeding in all that moisture around. But again today, we've got this frontal boundary north of us just helping to force moisture and stormy weather. But looking ahead to tomorrow, that front loosely is going to be sneaking through our area, okay? And as that happens, it's going to start to push the focal point of the storms away, and what we end up with is come Wednesday and Thursday, just some showers. This area of high pressure hanging out in the Gulf of Mexico is actually going to bring down our moisture. So what we end up with is a subtlety of drier weather. It's not huge. Don't expect the world to change, but it's a subtlety of drier weather. So our rain chances over the next couple of days come down a smidge. Yesterday was 70, today's still up there. And then by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's a 50% coverage of showers and storms. So it's still going to be active. But just not quite as active, we'll say. All right. Sound good? Very good. Any questions, comments, concerns locally? Anything? I prefer Lave for my espresso mic. I've seen it. I just don't know if I'm saying it correctly. We brew the Pilone, and we buy it when it's buy one, get one. So coffee, now, for those of you that hang out for Coffee Talk, maybe you know, and we're going to do tropics next. For those of you that have hung out for Coffee Talk for a while, maybe you know this. Maybe I've never mentioned it, though. I've not been a coffee drinker for forever. As a matter of fact, I would say I've only been a coffee drinker for probably the last 10 years. And I really love Pilone, but I will say in the last 10 years, the price of coffee has gone way up. Way up. Yikes. So, I mean, I love it and I need it, but yeah. Suzanne's asking, with all the oceans being so hot, how in your opinion can that affect hurricane season? So, the water temperatures are the hottest that they've ever been. That is not up for discussion. That's empirical data. When I say they've ever been, understand I'm not talking about centuries ago. I'm talking about in recorded history, which goes back to the 1800s. But since water temperatures have been tracked, we have never observed them this hot. And in the last few months, we have really observed a skyrocketing reading. So scientists are trying to figure out where that's coming from and trying to work through that. But notice we are not tracking any named tropical systems right now. No hurricanes, no tropical storms. So understand that sea surface temperatures, while a big part of the equation, are not the only part. And as Jeremy and I have discussed many times on our Tracking the Tropics broadcast, which, by the way, we will do, Laura, I do the exact same thing, which, by the way, we'll do tomorrow at 10 a.m., remember that water temperatures are one piece. You need wind shear, you need moisture, all of these things. You can't just say hot water temperature, because if that was the case, then La Nina would make for hyperactive, and El Nino would make for dead tropical activity. And usually they'll adjust and trend that direction, but that's not the only player in town, so we have to remember that. All right. What did I drink before coffee, Chris? Soda. Red Bull. Oh my God, was it terrible. No wonder I weighed 300 pounds. Good God. All right. Here we are. Okay, so to the tropics. Let's just take a look. This is the basin as it stands right now. There are two areas to track. The first one, let's just watch this for a second. This rolling off the coast of the Carolinas, that is Invest 97. Moving north of Bermuda, kind of getting tied up in some mid-latitude stuff, but it has a low-end chance of trying to develop tropically as it works away. Not a threat at all. 20% chance that this develops. Now, couple things. That was the Nicole part of the pattern. It moved over Florida last week, brought us this wetter than average pattern, kept us pretty stormy the last couple of days. It's moving away. The next recycle of that, which is, what is that, September 8th through the 14th? We're really going to have to watch for that, okay? But there it goes, okay? So Invest 97, not a concern. Again, we'll look at the satellite imagery. It's there. It's doing its thing. Certainly something to watch. So there you go. All right, now the other thing to watch, this is Invest 96. It's been sitting out there for quite a while. To give you a perspective, bottom left corner of the monitor there, that's Puerto Rico. You can see the Antilles, the Caribbean islands. We do think that this is going to get going as it lifts due north over the next 48 hours' time. More than likely, we'll have a tropical depression form. More than likely, we'll end up with a tropical storm developing this week, okay? 70% chance over the next 2 days' time, 80% chance over the next 7 days' time. There's a high likelihood that that does develop. And if it does, okay, it would take kind of this week to do so. Watch, though, on the intensity models, okay? Wednesday, Thursday is when most of the models do try to take Invest 96 up to tropical storm intensity. And then by Saturday, Sunday, the vast majority of the trend is that things will start to weaken a little bit by the weekend. So there's definitely a window for development for Invest 96. But I think for me at least, the most important part of this is that it's not coming here at all. So that's fine. And the rest of the tropical Atlantic, at least for now, I mean, there's really not, there's another wave out near the Cabo Verde Islands on the bottom right corner of that screen there, you can see. And models are trying to figure that out. But, well, will not be too overly concerned. That's where we're at right now, okay? Elizabeth, Cooper was still dead asleep. I walked in his room playing Coffee Talk, and he sat up and said, "Is that Coffee Talk?" Cooper, good morning. Good morning. Rosebud's asking Fish Storm. Yeah, I love to be able to say Fish Storm. Because if it isn't a fish storm, it means it's hitting somebody. And that's not our goal here. That's not our goal here. All right, so that's what we're looking at there. Let's do this. Let's take a look at the global models and just kind of get an idea of what they're saying. in terms of what's ahead, okay? And I'm going to try and take today and get the BSR set up so that we can look at that. It's another kind of tool that we can use to at least eyeball down the line. It's on my goals. All right, so see where it says forecast high 93? Right over the F and the O, there's a white dot. That's that next wave coming off of Africa. Not really doing much. See that area of low pressure there off of Nova Scotia? That's the 9th of August. That is the recycle of the January no-name system. So kind of firing up there, no concern. Looks like some tropical moisture around the 13th, around the Bahamas and the Caribbean and the Gulf. Nothing crazy. And that's as far out as the GFS goes. Couple of now notice, let me just back this up for a minute for perspective here. All right, so you got a couple of fish storm type things through early to mid-August. But it's not until here, literally the last couple of frames, that the GFS is starting to show up the wave train coming off of Africa. And that makes sense because in our hurricane forecast we put out on March the 1st, we knew early August should be pretty quiet, but mid to late August things were going to start to get more and more active. There's Wednesday, August 16th, and there things are starting to get a bit more active. Let's switch over to the European. Let's just get an idea. Everything is pretty much status quo. No craziness off of the GFS. Yeah, but you notice at the end there, we start to see more of those waves getting going, and maybe some like loose moisture around the Gulf of Mexico there around mid-August. So we knew mid-August is when the pattern was going to shift around, right? And in terms of ensembles, let's switch over to the GFS ensemble. Nothing of note. Couple ensemble members trying to do something in the open Atlantic to the Caribbean, around. But again, you see a couple of ensemble members trying to show some stuff around the Gulf, at least. Not much of anything, but around the Gulf, kind of toward the very end of the forecast period, which would be around mid-August. So, for right now, it just looks like mid-August is when things should start to accelerate, right? And start to develop. For now, no big concerns, which, again, anytime we can say no big concerns, that's fine. Next name on the list will be Emily. No rush to get there either, though. Jen says going to listening mode. Very good. Do your thing. Oh, God. One of the cats puked on the window ledge. Oh, boy. That's not fun. That's not fun. Patty, thanks for your professional take on this. I live right at the beach and keep a check on it. We're going to keep a check on it. And I would also encourage you, if you haven't done so, and that's fine. I have no qualms with doing shameless plugs on the amount of work that I put into this. Every year, and my own stepfather and my own mother didn't even know about that I did this. So it means I need to do more marketing. But every year I put out a hurricane forecast. I put months and months and months of work into this. And months and months and months of work into this. You can check it out by heading over to our website, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. wesh.com/hurricane forecast. Okay. Head there and you can get our hurricane season forecast that I put out on March the 1st. Now, if you're familiar with it, great. If you're not, I'll just kind of share with you like the Nicole part of the pattern, the one that just moved through. Okay. The way that this works, I highlight an area and I highlight dates. So the May 30th through June 4th, that was just like a storm system off the coast, didn't really do too much. The July 19th through the 25th, that was that tropical wave that moved through our area, moved up to the Carolinas, and then moved out to sea. And that's Invest 97 right now. The next recycle, each of these, they recycle over and over. The next recycle, September 8th through the 14th. we're going to need to watch those days. I've been saying it since March the 1st. Here we are, July the 31st. I've watched it recycle several other times. And that's the way that it goes, okay? And just for perspective's sake, if you're curious, this is I'll show you the map from last year, the proof of performance, as I like to call it. And we did really well last year. I don't know why that query box is showing up. Hold on a second. This thing sometimes gets so fakakta. Hold on a second. Why are you showing? Well, tropical track. Turn off observation. Okay. So these are the historical tracks from last year. Oh, I know why. Because I got it. Hold on. Because it was showing this year's stuff. That's why. There we are. Okay, perfect. All right. So this is last year's forecast. Notice it says 2022. Last year's forecast and all of last year's landfalls. All of the landfalls happened where and when. Okay, so that's last year. This year is different. This year has different hotspots, etc., etc. Here's this year's hotspots. For those of you that do not know, we've got hotspots for the Carolinas, for the Florida Gulf Coast, and the Florida Atlantic Coast. And they are in different spots than last year. So there you go. All right. Michelle says it occurred over my house twice. Yeah. I don't wish that for anybody, truthfully. But if you haven't checked it out, I do highly suggest it. wesh.com/hurricane forecast. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns about the tropics, about our local forecast, anything? Sarah points out, thankfully not Southwest Florida again. Agreed. That was when we were putting together our forecast, that was kind of one of the bigger things, was like, well, thank God it's not Southwest Florida again. Nancy, thank you. And thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate it. Thank you. David, thank you. I appreciate it. Is there any lingering Saharan dust? That is a good question. Yeah. Moving more and more into the heart of hurricane season, we're going to see that Saharan dust continue to weaken more and more and more. But give me 2 seconds. I mean, in our area, there's not a ton of Saharan dust anymore. Let me widen this out. All right, so there's the current Saharan air layer, and you can see there's still Saharan dust around, but overall, we're injecting less and less of that Saharan dust into the ocean. All right, Tina's asking August 11th through the 13th. For now, it does not look that way. The pattern definitely favors late August into September. Yeah. Taylor, Eric, if you need a laugh, go back and read some of the comments. Okay, I'll have to do. I've been just talking so much. I apologize. Now we can yenter it up. Now we can yenter it up. All right, 7-day forecast showing showers and storms around. There you go. Kind of returning to normal the next couple of days. But for today, still with that elevated chance, not only for flooding, not only for storms, but also for severe weather. Laura's asking, when do you go on the cruise? I was supposed to be going today. It's not going to happen. My mother is sick, and so we've canceled the cruise. So there you go. Yeah, my mother's sick. We've had our things at the house, so it just, all things considered, it's just the cruise is not going to happen. Taylor says comments involve Chris being adorable. There's that. Angie, I just got my new roof. Hurricanes. Do you say I don't like hurricanes, Angie, I would imagine? Julie, thankfully no major storms around for the start of school this year. Face turns neon red. Thank you, Nancy. Dawn, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Cindy, that's it. Tiffany, thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns about anything? Anything at all? Yeah, just have got our storms to deal with. I'll be here, sitting at my computer, tracking the storms for you, doing our thing. Carrie, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nydia, I'm going to Key West next week. How will the weather be? It's going to be the Key West weather. You know, breezy, some showers and storms kind of passing through, all of that fun stuff. Tiffany's asking, are the boys excited for school? I think, Alexander's going to go to the same school he's been. Eric, I think, is just a little nervous, perhaps. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. So we'll get through, right? Get through. All right? All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see you guys and gals later on. Bye.